All right, Zach, you ready to go back in time 1 year?
I'm always ready to go back in time and get those gains.
Ah, okay. That's how we're going to check the drop list. We need to power up the car to 21 gigahertz to go back in time. So stay tuned. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic show. ComicGains! If you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is Princess Roy Hess, looking very lovely today, just like usual. Do that princess wave, you do too. And of course, there's Coco.
All right.
There's a cocoa bean.
Oh, Coco is here. She made it today.
Body Coco.
All right. Okay. All right, guys. We have a special Monday. Welcome to the Monday show of the drop list of ComicGains, where we go back in time 1 year and we check trending lists, hot lists, speculation lists, any lists that are out there, and we try to figure out which ones were hot, but now they're not.
I'm proud.
And yeah, and it's a fun list. It's a good way to see which books might be a good time to pick them up, or it might be a good time to forget about them, or there's a lot of good things that can come out of the drop list, and that's why big reason why we like doing this list every week. And we end up buying a lot of books off the list, and you guys let us know some of the books you guys get off the list, or
yeah,
that'd
be cool.
It's a good time. It's a good fun time. You know what also is a good fun time?
Oh, it's this Core Power banana strawberry protein drink, guys.
Banana.
It has 170 calories, but there's 26 grams, so it meets the calorie code to
That's
protein.
True. That's the calorie code.
So you shake it up, because this stuff likes to fall all the way to the bottom. So you shake it up, just shake it up, and then you drink it, guys, and try it. Not bad. Pretty smooth, not chunky.
I'm a chocolate
flavor.
guy myself.
Oh yeah, it's not bad.
Strawberry banana.
I'd do it again.
You would do it again?
Mm-hmm.
You know what also meets the code? Hanging out with us on Whatnot, finding those great deals. You can always kick it with Adam and Zach for shows on Saturday at 3 p.m. Dollar starts, 30-second auctions, and then after that you get to kick it with the Princess on her own show, where she talks up a storm, where she also does dollar starts and 30-second auctions, and she has the Wheel of Gains, which if you don't know about that, because you got to visit the show and check it out. And if you haven't ever checked it out and are new to Whatnot, there's what, Zach?
There's a $15 credit that you can do if you put in the code down below it. So there's a little link. Get in there, apply your first $15 you buy ever. Has to be your first. Is taken off of the order, guys. That's $1 comics. Easy. And if you're on our show, you already know those $15 spends very well. You get some what? Deals.
Or gains.
Or gains.
I like it. All right. Let's get into the drop list, because you want to be on the lookout for some of these books. This is a good list. And, sometimes as we do these lists, we pick out books and not necessarily have all the books. But this week, what do we got, Zach? We have all the books, right? Which is sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing. I like when we actually sold the book a year ago, and now we're doing the drop list on these books we sold. But this week is not so much. We have all 5 of these books, but some of them are some pretty good books. And let's kick it off first. Let's go all the way back to Amazing Fantasy. Not that Amazing Fantasy. We're talking about the one from 2005.
Very great comic.
And we've done some Amazing Fantasy books recently, but now this one finally makes a list. And this is Amazing Fantasy. Oh, Coco is. Oh, no.
Oh, she's not happy.
Oh, no.
Simmer down, Coco.
She was comfortable. All right. We got Amazing Fantasy number 10 from 2005. This is James Jean and Jeff Parker doing the work on this book. And this is first appearance of Nina Price, who is the niece of Jack Russell. So she's like a vampire type character, and she got to see right on the cover. There's kind of like a mixture where so the scorpion, the female scorpion, and then you also have Nina Price. So this book was getting hot a year ago with all the speculation of Werewolf by Night, the Halloween special. Obviously everybody knew we were going to see. Well, I think at this point, a year ago, we knew we were going to see Jack Russell, so they were like, okay, is the niece going to show up? How deep are they going to go? Sure. They were basically throwing every character that had to do with horror or ghosts or goblins and vampires. So we didn't see her. So obviously when that happens, you get a little bit of a drop. And, I think this whole series is amazing. Super, super big fan favorite. There's a whole bunch of cool characters. You got Carmilla Black, Aranya, Amadeus Cho, all great characters that came out of this run. But I don't know if we're going to see them in the MCU anytime soon. We might.
Probably not.
But I don't know. They haven't really touched on any of these characters at all going forward. So a lot of people like this book. I don't know. Is it a good time to pick it up, though?
Well, it recently had a slight surge. It was as a buy it now, so it might have been a fluke accident because the sale right before was about half that price. So the range from a year ago to now is $600 to $500. The low is $230 to the high of $1,399.
Good Lord. Great Scott!
Great Scott! And then the average is $608. So it's slightly below the average as of the last sale. I'm telling you, the sale right before that was just a little bit under $300. Like not that long before that sale. I don't know what's going on with this. I would say it still is worth lower than the 500, but who knows? It might be up a uptrend. You might want to get it. I would just get a bunch of, like I usually say, bunch of raw copies, shattered. Hopefully you get a bunch of 9/8 and you make a lot of money on it. That's what I would say with this book.
That's money right in the bank, Jimmy.
Right in the bank. Mm-hmm.
All right, cool book. Okay, I like it. All right, next up on the list, we might need to fix some problems with our friend Joe Fixit, right? Mm-hmm. And we have Wolverine #8 from 1989. That's a pretty good year, Zach, 1989.
Yeah.
John Buscema and Chris Claremont doing some goodness on this awesome cover. It's probably one of my favorite books in that whole run. In the whole Wolverine, I like it better than #1 for sure. But it's just basically a classic cover with Wolverine on it, and you got Joe Fixit. You know the gray Hulk, kind of the working Hulk, and there's a lot of speculation that with Hulk going forward in the MCU, like which character is he going to portray? We already had him like a smart Hulk. Is he going to change into like Fixit Hulk? A year ago, people I think now more they're going to go into Planet Hulk is kind of the deal with the MCU. That's what I'm guessing. You know, with everything they're going with, like Scar showing up and everything, but there is there's a brand new book coming out, brand new comic that's actually called Joe Fixit.
Fantastic!
Yeah, Joe Fixit Hulk. So it's coming out actually, I think next month or maybe even before that. So it's got a nice little boost from that as well. But it's gone back down. It's gone a little bit cheaper. I will tell you there is a newsstand variant which garnishes about double the price of the regular. So keep an eye out for that newsstand. And if you didn't know, if you ever got in a bag and board, pop that out of the bag and board. And you know what's on the back? A sweet Wolverine Rob Liefeld.
That's right.
On the back where it's looking pretty awesome. So yeah, great book though. I don't think that's one of those ones you get you keep it in your collection. You know, if you really like that cover,
especially if you get high grade.
Mm-hmm.
So prices on 9.6 has a lot more sales in the 9.6. Prices a year ago $224, now $145. Range $100 to $260. Average sales $100. This is another book that you really want to try to get in a 9/8.
Yeah.
Honestly, you really, really want to get it because if it's not a 9/8, it drops the price a lot. So if you want to scrounge up the money, buy 9.8 over a 10-year period, you probably won't have any losses. Again, I would just try, this book. I wouldn't scattershot. I would just really, really look at each and every book that you find, see in the wild, and see if it has a possibility. Just send one in, hope for the best kind of thing, press it, clean it. If it gets a 9/8, cool. If it doesn't, sell it, do it again. That's what I would say for this book. Because this book, I don't know. I think we've set at least
We've done one. It came back a 9.6 that we thought was going to be a 9.8.
Should have been a
9.8.
Should have been.
Like Zach's saying, anything that's based on artwork, you need to have a 9.8, you know, to keep the long, because it doesn't have a first appearance. So it's like, it's just people like the artwork, which is great artwork, but it's got to be a 9.8, you know,
right?
For the most part, unless you're not a grading person, then keep your raw copy. And that's what we have, 2 raw, because I don't want to send any more. They're getting 9.6s. I like them more raw. I like that one more.
Yeah.
Unless you buy that. You know what else I like a lot?
Right.
I like Omega the Unknown. If you know me, it's one of my favorite stories. I think I have like 4 of each copy of each book in the run somehow. I couldn't remember which ones I had, so I kept buying them. But that's the next book on the list from 1976. You got Ed Hannigan and Steve Gerber. I just love the story. Read the story and I love it. And you got first appearance of Omega the Unknown and James Michael Starling. So it's just, it's a great 70s story that they came out with. It kind of touched on some people, and then they kind of let it drop off. I don't even think they actually finished the story. Ends on I think issue 12, and it just kind of leaves you at a cliffhanger a little bit. And spoiler, I know this came out in the 70s, but Omega does die at the end of the story. The regular Omega, you guys haven't read yet, but they do a lot of stuff. They try to get some crossovers in there. They have Hulk crossover, they have Electro crossover, and some different stories. And then later on, James Michael Starling actually becomes the new Omega. So the little kid in the story actually becomes the new, and he's kind of like not quite like a human type character either. Even the story. I don't want to dive too deep in the story, but a year ago, they had this new series come out called The Darkhold, which is pretty cool. And the last book of The Darkhold happened to be called Omega. See how that works? And the characters go this whole story, and as they finally break out of the Darkhold realm, who pops out with them but Omega the Unknown, which is the James Michael Starling version of the character. And this book like skyrocketed. All of a sudden everybody wanted this book, and it got crazy. And I haven't seen, I'm keeping up on my reading, and I haven't seen him in anything else yet. So I don't know what they're doing with that, or if it was just a little like poking jab at us, like here you go, and then you don't get to see anymore. But for me personally, this is cool to see a book skyrocket just based on another comic and not on a Marvel movie or DC movie. Kind of fun. I don't mind when they skyrocket because of a movie, but it's cool to see it based on a comic. And I can tell you, there's no other versions of this book to look out for, but in this series, if you're looking for issue 9 and 10 of the Omega the Unknown, see if you got a 35 center, because they're worth a lot of money. That's a price variant. Comes out on 9 and 10. Zach, what are the numbers on Omega? On one of my favorite books.
So, prices a year ago at the high was $999 for a CGC 9.8.
Dang, it's almost 1,000.
Almost 1,000. Just round up. Low, or I should say the last sale, is $735. Not too crazy of a drop. The low is $735 and the high is $999. Anyways, now $867 is the average. This is a book that's
expensive for not like a huge book. I think it's a huge book, but not everybody. Maybe everybody else says, I don't know, that's kind of expensive.
This character has a lot of potential. There's a couple of things I don't like about this character. Like the actual character in the first issues, he doesn't really talk.
So I think 3 or 4 whole comics he doesn't say a word.
So I feel like it could be like an Inhumans issue where he's the strong, silent type, and that can work if you spin it a certain way. But obviously Marvel hasn't done that in the cinematic movies yet, so it'd be kind of a little yes, no kind of thing. I would just get it if you like it, right? And also understanding if you get a 9.8, it could have a lot of legs.
Yeah.
Could have.
Yeah. I doubt there's that many on the census. We'd have to check that out. We have to check. You know what probably does have a lot on the census, though?
Yes.
It's Spider-Gwen 2, issue 24. Great cover. 2017, you got Chris Anka and Jason Latour. I think Princess has one of these on the census. I'm pretty sure she has a graded copy. First appearance of Gwen Stacy as Gwenom. If you guys don't know, there's so many good covers in this run. Just a lot of good. This cover is almost better than what the appearance is on this book. But great book. And it's kind of confusing a little bit. Like, I know in the storyline, some of the reading I've been doing with Gwen Stacy, like her current costume is some form of a symbiote. I don't think it's actually the same Gwenom symbiote that she had, because I think that actually had her kind of do some bad things. And in this series, in that run, that's actually when they find out that she is her real identity in her own universe. Not the regular 616, but her own universe. They find out she has to reveal her identity because of things she does as Gwenom. And I think she goes to prison for a year because of S.H.I.E.L.D., because of the things she does as Gwenom as well. So, cool book. This one kind of just like goes up and down depending on like what happens. Like, we know there's that little symbiote piece that got left in the MCU. We don't even really have Gwen. We don't even have Gwen Stacy yet. So it's kind of weird to see how they mix that together. But I think there's some spec. She may turn into Gwenom into Across the Spider-Verse. I kind of don't see that happening at this point. But they were kind of throwing everything at that. Like anything could happen in Across the Spider-Verse. I don't know. We'll see. I think it's a really cool book. Everyone should have one. But One to look out for. I didn't even know this. There is a J. Scott Campbell exclusive in this one. It's actually one of his own books, and the signed copy goes for more than that one does. So keep an eye out for that one. Other than that, the second print goes for less. It's like half the price of the first print.
I wonder if that's the ESM 360 homage. I wonder. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Maybe. No, not that one.
Not that one?
Not that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, prices a year ago for our CGC 9.8 for this fabulous book was $265.
Really?
Yeah. Now, $164. Range, $78 to as high as $300. Average sales, $173. I think this is a very fun book to get. It's a great cover A. There's the second print that's a little bit more valuable, I believe.
Less that second print.
It's
like half the value.
Less.
Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah, this is the money book size of J. Scott Campbell.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the book to
the
get.
Money book.
I think this is a fantastic price to get it at $164. I mean, you're not putting a lot into it. You could get a lot out of it. I would. As soon as they show like even an inkling of it in the Spider-Verse, it's probably going to go double or triple. That's what I would think for this quality of book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was selling for almost like $100 raw for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, quite a while it was.
Dropped a lot.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. I think that's the name of the show. The Droplets.
That's right.
Right? That's what we're doing around here. You know, every once in a while we like to sprinkle a little DC love. And today we brought you guys a nice DC gift. And that comes in the form of Infinite Crisis number 3 from 2006. Jim Lee, Jeff Johns. I don't think it gets any better than that for DC. That duo for DC is like the duo. Yeah. And this is first appearance of Jaime Reyes, the third Blue Beetle, not in costume. So he has quite a few keys. I know we've touched on this before. I think we've had issue 5 on the drop list before. Mm-hmm. Issue 5 is the more expensive book. That's the one in costume. But they're both good. And I just think these are super underrated. I mean, he's getting his own movie. He's one of the only DC movies that didn't get canceled, which is like a huge surprise. You know, so I have high hopes for this. I think little more obscure characters with a good origin story movie tend to do pretty well.
Yes.
And they're keeping it around for some reason. Mm-hmm. And I think it's Zolo Mardina from Cobra Kai is actually the actor who's going to be playing. I know from hearing about him, he's super excited to play this role. He's like super pumped, like always posting stuff all the time. So this is a cool book. I think all of these, too many DC books are underpriced. I wish they were more expensive. A book this big, I don't even know, should be probably like $100 raw, and it's not. Like you can get it for like sometimes under 20.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes like even
maybe we did.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But keep an eye out. There's a really cool variant to this book, which is actually done by George Perez, which is even cheaper for some reason, which is crazy. They're both good. You should have one of each of them. And just criminally underrated. And side note, I think George Lopez is actually going to be in this movie.
Oh, George Lopez.
Yeah, George Lopez.
Right? Do you know how hard it is being a comedian and not being funny? Yeah, I like that. I like that joke that he did. Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, you're right. No,
but it might be a time. I mean, this movie hasn't even come out yet. I don't even think I've seen a preview for this yet, and it's already on the drop list. It's criminal. Yeah, but a lot of people didn't know what was going to happen. They canceled everything.
For the price here, this might be the buy of the day. Prices a year ago for a CGC 9.8 was $80 a year ago. Now it's $45. Range $28 to $199.99. Average is $82. It's half of the average, guys. Come on, that's telling you right there. Buy. Just get. I actually might just get this at 9.8 now. Once we end this show, jeez,
we need to take a break to go buy this in a 9.8.
Sorry, all the options are gone, guys. My bad. But yeah, this is probably the deal of the day. This is probably the book you want to get, and you might want to get a couple of them for $45 a piece. Why not?
It kind of feels like one of those movies where like there's not going to be much hype on the comic leading up to it, much more hype, and then like it's going to be I'm not guaranteeing that it's going to be a great movie, but it has potential to be a great movie, and then everybody's going to try and buy the book after the movie. It's going to have that like lingering effect.
Yes.
You know, kind of like Werewolf by Night, you know, where like after it was, or Man Thing actually more, but Man Thing, everyone was buying it like months and months after the special came out, because the people were like so blown away how cool he was.
Yeah, it was
Blue
like,
Beetle has that potential.
There's like some convincing needed to be done. Like, yeah, it's actually pretty good. I don't know. Oh, it is really good. Oh, I better buy my copy now.
Yeah.
Now, do it now.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up the drop list for today. Some good ones. Zach gave you his stamp of approval, the ones to look out for. And as always, if you like hearing these drop lists, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you always know when new things are going down. Because we like to come at you on Wednesday, hang out with you guys live, and it's a lot of fun. And leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you think about the drop list. Let us know if there's any books you're thinking about picking up. Let us know if you guys think Blue Beetle's going to be a good movie.
Right.
I'd love to hear if you guys think that's going to be good.
We would love to hear it.
That would be the question of the day. And Zach, I have a question of the day for you. What else?
Yeah, sure. How you do that is you have to find some real estate property, right? That you could open up a restaurant and you're making chili, just chili, maybe some bread to dip in the chili and then some drinks and because that has very great margins. But you make this chili really hot so you have like milk too in case people get too heated, right? And you name that place Burning Ring of Fire.
That could work. And you sell a lot of Pepto-Bismol?
I am the Pepto-Bismol. It's like, not only I get you coming in buying a bowl, I get you dressed about going out with the pep.
I like it.
With a little bit of pep in your step.
That works. All right, guys. Until we see you next time, stay safe and remember.
Get those peppy gains.
Get 'em.
Every single one.